Basic Conversational French. This video has two parts. This is part one, which deals with the EZ-vous question answer concept, and part two is an application of this question answer concept, the EZ-vous concept, with some verb infinitive sounds. Understand this concept and you can immediately compose 66 questions or answers or statements for each verb infinitive sound in the whole French language. Fantastic and powerful. This basic conversational course shows speakers of English how, from your first trial, it is simple and immediately effective to listen to, understand, and use the French EZ-vous sound concept. EZ-vous, EZ-vous, and you get the reply, je. Now listen to these sounds. Then try asking and answering. Here's the first question. Parlez-vous français? Parlez-vous français? The answer, positive answer, oui, je parle français. Oui, je parle français. Negative answer, non, je ne parle pas français. Non, je ne parle pas français. Number two, finissez-vous, finissez-vous le devoir? Finissez-vous le devoir? Oui, je finis le devoir. Oui, je finis le devoir. Yes, I finished the work or the task. Negative answer. Non, je ne finis pas le devoir. Non, je ne finis pas le devoir. Third question. Vendez-vous la maison? Vendez-vous la maison? Do you sell the house? Oui, je vends la maison. Oui, je vends la maison. Non, je ne vends pas la maison. Je ne vends pas la maison. Je ne vends pas la maison. Question number 4. Croyez-vous en Dieu? Croyez-vous en Dieu? That's the question. Oui, je crois en Dieu. Oui, je crois en Dieu. Negative answer. Non, je ne crois pas en Dieu. Je ne crois pas en Dieu. Question numéro 5. Question number 5. This is a nonsense verb sound to show that this concept, this EZ-vous concept, works for, in general, for 95% of the verbs in French. Numéro 5. Zoom, zoomez-vous, zoom, zoomez-vous. This has absolutely no meaning, but it shows that this concept works. Oui, je zoom, zoom. Oui, je zoom, zoom. Negative answer, non, je ne zoom, zoom pas. Please note carefully that above we focus here on the sound, the pronunciation, not the spelling. Let me explain simply what we do to get the question and answer in the present time in the French language. parlez-vous is the question. And the response, je parle, is the answer, positive answer. Je ne parle pas is a negative answer. What to do? One, you delete the EZ-vous sound from parlez-vous, and you are left with the sound parle, 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 parle. Secondly, you add or place je before the sound parle, plus you just repeat what you heard in the question. Je parle français, je parle français, to complete the sentence. I speak French. Negatively, it would be je ne parle pas français. Note that the E or the E at the end of parle is not pronounced. Use a similar procedure for finissez-vous, finissez-vous, and vendez-vous, as well as croyez-vous. That is, delete the EZ-vous from finissez-vous. You are left with the sound fini, fini. Secondly, add or place je before the sound fini, which gives you je finis, and you complete the sentence or the answer to the question by saying je finis le devoir. I complete the work. I finish the work or the job. Je finis le devoir. Similarly, for vendez-vous, delete the EZ-vous sound from vendez-vous. You are left with vend. Note that the S at the end of a verb in the French language, the verb sound, is not pronounced. Secondly, you add or place je before the sound vend, and therefore you have je vends la maison. I sell the house. Je vends la maison. Note that we are talking about the sound, not the spelling. Also note, I use the verb present tense or time here as the model example. In expressing oneself not only in the present tense or time, but in all French simple tenses, and there are some exceptions, speakers of French use the same sound of their verbs which they use with je. They use the same sound of their verbs which they use with je, which means I in English, to ask questions or make statements with other sounds, il, elle, in the singular, as well as il and elle in the plural. For example, il parle. He speaks. Elle parle. She speaks. Il parle français. He speaks French. Elle parle français. She speaks French. And also, in the plural, the same sound. We're talking about the sound here, not the spelling. In the plural, il parle, masculine plural, il parle français. Elle parle français. They, masculine set of people, males, parle français. Elle, meaning the females, elle parle français. Now, The same thing applies for finissez-vous, je finis, vendez-vous, je vends. You say il finit, elle finit, and in the plural, il, plural, they finissent, elles finissent. Ils vendent, elles vendent, ils vendent, elles vendent. Also note that for the sound tu, meaning you in the singular, you also use the same sound that follows je. Tu parles, tu parles. Thus, if you know the sound for je, which means I in English, je, which is the normal reply to the EZ-vous sound, you also know the sound for 5 other sounds in the present tense. And you might find that if you want to look deeper into this course at when you check gleneducation.com, you will find that the same applies to all other verb sounds, especially I've used the modal present tense. To complete the question-answer pattern, finally, if you add the sound on to the end of the verb stem sound that follows je, you will be expressing the verbal concept that represents nous. Nous in English is interpreted as we. Example, if you take off the je, you can say parlons. You add on to parle, which gives you parlons. Parlons-nous? Are we speaking? Finissons-nous? 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 Are we finishing? Finissons-nous le devoir? Vendons-nous la maison? Are we selling the house? Croyons-nous en Dieu? Do we believe in God? And since we do not pronounce the at the end of parle, it's easy to just add that on. We do not pronounce the or the s at the end of the simple verb sound in the French language, the present tense, the present time. Now, your ability to understand, do, and say the above trials confirms to you what you will be able to quickly learn to do and how you can efficiently expand your speaking ability when you decide to access this basic French conversational course. You can actually compose, we go back to the beginning, you can compose 66 questions and answers statements and more. But let's stick now with the 66 questions for each infinitive in the French language. Now, this is the end of this first part. Visit www.gleneducation.com for further assistance or further explanations.